lying on our mats, and I'm going to read another one of my favorite books is The Power of Now. I'm going to read a little short chapter. If you guys have read this book, it's kind of interesting. It's just like kind of short little responses throughout the whole book. And this one is called Have Deep Roots Within. So we'll get started lying on our backs. Find that comfortable Shavasana position. Let your legs go long. Let the toes roll out to the side. And then if you want to place, this would be a nice practice to place the left hand on the heart and the right hand on the belly. To just tune in. Tuck the chin down towards the chest a little bit. And then start to sink into your inhales and exhales, noticing each one. Trying to lengthen each inhale and exhale. Hi, Cordelia. We're going to start lying on our backs today in Shavasana. So, the little section I'm reading is called Have Deep Roots Within. The key is to be in a state of permanent connectedness with your inner body, to feel it at all times. This will rapidly deepen and transform your life. At this higher energy level, negativity cannot affect you anymore. You tend to attract new circumstances that reflect this higher energy. If you keep your attention in the body as much as possible, you will be anchored in the now. You won't lose yourself in the external world, and you won't lose yourself in your mind. Thoughts and emotions, fears and desires may still be there to some extent, but they won't take you over. Please examine where your attention is at this moment. You are listening to me. That is the focus of your attention. You are also peripherally aware of your surroundings. Furthermore, there may be some mind activity around what you are hearing, some mental commentary, yet there is no need for any of this to absorb all of your attention. See if you can be in touch with your inner body at the same time. Feel your whole body from within as a single field of energy. It is almost as if you are listening with your whole body. Let this be your practice in the days and weeks to come. From Shavasana, we'll bring our right knee up to our right armpit. Let the left leg stay long. Grab your hands around the shin and pull that knee up into the armpit. As close as you can, as tight to that right side of the body as you can, opening up the hips a little bit, and then take some ankle circles with that right foot. And then from here, we'll take a short half happy baby. So release the left or the right foot and grab the outside of the right foot with the right hand. This time you pull on the foot, try to get the knee towards the mat on the outside of that body. All right, we're going to straighten into that right leg, shoot the heel towards the ceiling, grab the back of the right leg and pull on it a little bit, trying to get the shin towards your face, breathing into the back. You can move the foot in the air side to side, breathing into the outside of the right leg a little bit more as the foot goes over to the left. And then we'll take right ankle, left knee for figure four, supine figure four. So while we're on our backs here, try to keep the entire length of your spine connected to the mat, even the back of your neck. And then we're in supine figure 4, so pull the right shin towards your chest. Breathe into that glute on the right leg. You can grab behind the left leg or just pull on that right shin. All right, we'll release the right leg down, back onto the mat, let the right leg go long. And then we're gonna do the same thing, left side, bring that knee up into the armpit as much as you can get. So you're trying to glue the thigh towards the side body on the left. And then take some ankle circles with the left foot if that's comfortable. And then take this into half happy baby on the left side. Let go of the left foot, let the heel go towards the ceiling, and then grab the outside of the left foot. Pull the knee towards the mat. You can place your right hand on the hip to keep it from lifting. So trying to keep that right hip down. And then still have awareness of your spine, trying to keep the spine on the mat. Release the left heel towards the ceiling, straighten into the left leg. We'll stretch out the back of the left leg. Grab anywhere you can, flex those toes down towards your face, and then use your exhales to stretch. All right, supine figure 4, left ankle, right knee. This time breathing into the glute on the left side. Pull the left shin towards your chest. Every exhale gets you a little deeper, so that's where you might pull or tug a little bit on the whatever grip you have. Could be behind the right leg or just holding on to the left shin. Try to keep the chin tucked down to the chest still, so we're still long through the back. All right, release both legs. We're gonna come into a quick happy baby. So grab the outsides of both feet and rock side to side here. Happy baby rocking side to side, as long as that feels okay on the spine. And then we'll grab the behinds of our thighs this time and use some momentum to rock and roll you up to seated. Well, we'll meet actually in boat pose. So rock along the spine as many times as feels nice. And then we'll meet sitting on our sit bones, feet on the mat in front of us. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then lean back. And then when your feet are ready to pop up into boat pose, let the feet lift. Let the insides of your legs come together. And then hands by your side, palms face in. This is our exhale position. We're gonna warm up that core. As you inhale, let the spine come to the mat, canoe. And then exhale back to boat. We're gonna keep doing this at your own pace. A little bit of an ab workout, warming up the core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. The slower you go, the harder it will be. If you need to place your hands on the mat to keep support, that's totally okay. This is your practice. And no one is watching. Hard for me to see. Couple more, still warming up that core, keep going. And then the last time that you come back to boat pose, we'll drop the left foot and we're gonna grab the right foot with the left hand. When you inhale, straighten into leg and spine at the same time. Getting into the outside of that right leg, you're gonna pull the foot over to the left. Inhale your right hand to the sky, let it fall behind you. Gaze follows the right shoulder. Breathe into the spine so you still wanna be really tall and straight. And then keep pulling your right foot over to the left. All right, we're gonna release out of that. Let the right foot go to the mat. We're gonna take the same thing with the left foot. Right hand, grab the foot wherever is comfortable. Let your inhale lengthen leg and spine at the same time. You gently pull the left foot over to the right. Inhale, left hand to the sky, let it fall behind you. Gaze follows the left shoulder. Adding a supine twist to that outside of the left leg stretch. Pull your core up and in, top of the head reaching towards the ceiling. And release, nice job. Let's come to a comfortable seated position and just get into the neck a little bit while we're down here so you can find a little cross-legged position. Now we're gonna start by taking our hands clasped together behind us. So any grip that you need, maybe hands or elbows. And then you're gonna pull those two hands over to the right and then drop your chin over to the right as well. And then you're gonna have to lower and raise that chin until you find a really nice stretch on the left side of the neck. It can all go all the way into the shoulder. And keep pulling your two hands over to the right. Keep the spine tall. Again, if you don't feel a stretch, maybe nod your chin up and down a little bit. And then same pose, over to the left, drop through center, go slow. Feel the release of the left side. And then pull those two hands over to the left hip. Your chin goes over towards the left shoulder. And now we breathe into the right side of the neck, all the way down to the shoulder. All right, we'll release out of that and then just do a couple neck rolls, complete circles, releasing any tension in the neck. Sometimes I forget how heavy our heads are and wonder why my neck is tight. So this is a great time to stretch it out. And then when you come back to center, find that nice straight spine. We're gonna bring our feet together, come into butterfly pose. So the insides of the feet together. If you want more of a hip stretch, keep those heels towards the body. More of a low back stretch, feet can be a little bit farther away from you. Inhale to find length. Hinge at the hips. Exhale, lead with the chest. Just come forward as far as is comfortable. Release the hands to the mat. You can let your head kind of lean forward too. As long as your neck is comfortable. Breathe into the hips, breathe into the low back. Butterfly pose. All right, slowly lift back up. And then there's one last seated pose I want to play with today. We've been doing the happy babies. And so we're going to do a happy baby sitting like this. So this is kind of fun. You're going to play with your balance. So you try to keep that nice tall spine. And then you're leaning back the same way you kind of did in boat pose, where you lean back, find your balance, and then grab the outsides of the feet. Pull the knees towards the outsides of your side body. Keep lengthening into the spine. Your head is still pulling towards the ceiling. And we're in, I don't even know what to call this. Up sitting happy baby. Sitting up happy baby. Kind of fun. Keep pulling, keep stretching into the hips, lengthening the spine. And then we're gonna release, roll over the knees, come to tabletop position. Stacked position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and we'll take a couple cat-cows. Inhale, gaze goes up, drop the belly towards the mat. Exhale, arch the spine, let the head hang heavy. Cat-cows at your own pace. Trying to lengthen your inhales and exhales still. Move or take the movement from your low spine, moving all the way up towards your neck. So the movement starts at the low spine. You can bend the elbows to exaggerate the movement. You can close the eyes and happy baby. Just making it your practice, listening to your body. All right, leaning back with a neutral spine, low ribs tucked in. We're gonna tuck both toes and then lift the knees 2 inches off the mat and hold them right there. So knee, tabletop position with knees 2 inches off the mat. This should engage your core. And then with your next exhale, lift the hips to your first down dog of class. Trying to use those same core muscles that were holding you 2 inches off the mat. Use those to get all the way to down dog. First down dog of class, walk the dog, breathe into the back of the legs, finding your stable down dog foundation that you'll return to many times throughout class. This down dog can be used as a resting pose, or at any point you can come to child's pose. We'll bend the knees, gaze between the hands on the bottom of your next exhale, walk really slowly to the top of your mat. We'll meet in ragdoll pose, so let your feet land hips width distance. Grab your elbows, let your head hang heavy. Really bend those knees, so we're letting the low back release here. Sway side to side like a ragdoll would. Shake out that head, shake yes and no. Releasing the neck. Let the stretch move all, or feel it from all the way from your hips, moving the length of the spine towards the neck, letting gravity do the work. And then very slowly, we'll roll all the way to standing, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Let the head be the last thing to come up. Letting the spine roll, and then take the shoulders up to the ears a couple times. Shoulder rolls, let them fall down your back. Meeting in a nice, sturdy tabletop position. This part always makes me laugh because it cuts off my head so perfectly. So table or mountain pose, grounding through both feet. It seems like such a simple pose, but there is a lot going on. It's super powerful grounding. So from the feet, feel the energy lift up through the kneecaps, through the hips, through the core, up to the heart, down the arms, and then up through your crown chakra. Hands shine forward. Take a couple breaths here. And then next inhale, we'll take the hands overhead, let the gaze go up. Exhale, hands come together through heart center, down by the side. Sorry, I was gonna do forward fold and then I stopped for some reason. So we're back in standing pose. Inhale, bring the hands overhead. This time we're gonna grab the hands, reach over to the right. So side body stretch. When we do this, I like to have my feet actually together. That way I can push the hips over to the left, keep reaching the hands over to the right, side body stretch. Push your right hip forward a little bit, it wants to fall back. Keep falling over, keep reaching. And inhale back to center, nice job. We'll change the grip of the wrist, left hand grabs right wrist this time. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, reach over to the left. Push your hips over to the right and then push your right hip forward, it tends to go back. Gaze up at the ceiling, keep pulling your right hand over to the left, huge side body stretch, and inhale back to center. If you want a little back bend, you can reach the hands back or place the hands on your low back, let the head fall back, open up the throat. Inhale back to standing and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shine the heart forward, fingertips to the floor, your shins. Exhale, plant the hands, we'll meet in plank pose, holding plank. So let the wrists be right under the shoulders, or if anything, the wrists are just a teeny bit in front of the shoulders, so a little bit higher on the mat. We'll tuck our tailbones towards the back of the room, pull the low ribs up into the core, and then be on the balls of your feet. So your heels are shooting towards the back of the room. You can drop to the knees at any point. Otherwise, we're gonna lower for 8 all the way to our bellies. So go nice and slow. Building strength in the triceps, keep the arms close to the body. Not down on the floor yet, go as slow as you can. Keep those arms nice and tight, and then let the belly come all the way to the floor. Let the tops of the feet press into the mat. You can kick the feet a little bit, let them be as wide as the mat. And then inhale, cobra pose. Lift from the chest, gazes forward. Try not to use your hands, lifting from that low spine. And exhale, release chin to floor or ear to floor. We're gonna stay on our bellies for one more pose. All right, come back to center with the head. Let those hands be under the shoulders. This time when you inhale to cobra pose, do use your hands. So your hands are gonna grip onto the floor and pull you, not just push you up, but they're gonna pull you forward. So you're finding length and stretch in the spine. Pulling the top of the head towards the ceiling, your shoulders out of the ears, really nice back bend. And then exhale, slowly release. Let those hands be under the shoulders, and we'll push back to a quick child's pose. Moving nice and slow, listening to the spine. Let the hips go back to the heels. Settle in a little bit, maybe rock the hips side to side. It's a nice counter stretch for the back bends. And then we'll move up through tabletop and meet in down dog. So foundation of down dog, spread those fingers really wide, press your whole surface area of the hand into the mat. Roll your armpits in to face each other just a little bit. Pull your low ribs up into the spine. Actually, let's do a little down dog prep practice. So let's all bend our knees. So we're in down dog with bent knees. We're gonna bend them a lot, more than you normally would. And then from here, tuck your tailbone up towards the front of your mat. So it might feel funny, but tuck your tailbone up towards the ceiling or towards the front of your mat. And then from here, pull your low ribs up and in, and then settle the hips back towards the mat. So we created length in the spine. Keep those low ribs pulled in. Gaze back between the legs. All right, we're gonna inhale the left leg high to the sky. And then exhale, plant the foot between the hands, come to a low lunge. From low lunge, we're gonna exhale to half splits. So usually I do a static hold here, but we're gonna do a fluid low lunge half splits. So inhaling forward, hands go up. Exhale, half splits, hands go back. If there's any pressure on that left knee, using the blanket maybe, or stacking your mat. Moving at your own pace through these two poses, a couple more times. Every time getting a little deeper in that stretch. Left hip flexor and then the back of the right leg. All right, next time you come forward, we're gonna come all the way to high lunge. So you tuck your back toes and lift the left knee off the mat. Deep bend in the front knee. So our feet in this pose are still hips width distance. So if you're standing at the top of your mat, hips width distance, that left foot would just go back in that straight line for high lunge. And then we'll exhale, prayer hands twist to the right. So let the left knee, elbow come to the outside of the right knee. Press into the palms to add a spinal twist. Let the gaze go up over to the right or up over the right shoulder to the ceiling. Pull that belly button up and into the core. And then we'll let the hands come to the mat. Step the right foot back to meet the left. You're in plank pose. You can lower to the knees, or we're gonna make it through vinyasa. So you can do chaturanga, up dog, down dog, or you can lower all the way to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tabletop to down dog. Taking your vinyasa, maybe in between flows, an open mouth exhale to let out the heat. Inhale through the nose, and then audible exhale out of the mouth. All right, next inhale, same thing, left side. So left foot goes high to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, plant the foot in between the hands for low lunge. Drop that back knee. We're gonna do those two fluid movements. So inhale to low lunge, hands come up. Exhale, hips go back, straight into the left leg, half splits. Move at your own pace, try to follow your breath. And every time you get into a pose, try to push it a little deeper. Really getting the stretch. All right, last one or two. Your next inhale back is coming forward to low lunge. You're gonna tuck the back toes, lift the right knee, come into high lunge. So deep bend in that right knee, or left knee, sorry. Right knee is pulled up and into the quad. Once we're settled down, we have really strong high lunge legs. We'll exhale, prayer hands over to the left. Twist your chest to face the left side of the room. Let the right elbow land on the outside of the left, or the top of the left knee. And gaze goes left. Or gaze can go up over the left shoulder to the ceiling. Keep pressing into the palms, adding that spinal twist. All right, return the hands to the mat, framing the left foot. Take it through your vinyasa or meet in down dog. You can skip the chaturanga up dog at any time. We'll meet in down dog. Use your breath to get there. Try not to rush through the movements. Really let your breath guide you, even if it's a tired breath. All right, next exhale, bend the knees, gaze between the hands, walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat. When you get there, we're gonna take gorilla pose this time. So you'll take your palms under the feet and then get your toes all the way to the wrist crease. If you don't like that, you can just grab your big toes. Either way, you inhale to lengthen, find length in the spine. And then exhale, fold. This is a pretty intense forward fold, getting into the back of both legs. Use your grip strength to pull your head towards the top of your feet. Pull your belly button up and in, so your core is still engaged, and we're trying to hollow out the belly to get a deeper fold. Micro bend in the knees, so you're not causing any hyperextension. And keep pulling. All right, nice job. We'll release and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, all the way to standing. Hands down by the side, mountain pose. Next inhale, hands come overhead, fingertips to touch. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shine the heart forward. And exhale, plant the hands, take it through your vinyasa or meet me in down dog. Exhaling through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Thighs off the mat, shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, sends those hips high to the sky for down dog. All right, we'll take that right knee, or inhale, right leg high to the sky. And then exhale, we're gonna come into pigeon pose. Getting into the hips a little more today. Send that left leg straight down the mat. We're gonna breathe into the outside of this right glute So we'll start by pushing the hands towards the body to lift the chest. It's going to open up that left hip flexor a little bit. And then exhale, let the chest come towards the mat. Taking your pigeon pose. Taking this time to recenter. Reconnect with the breath. We are going to stand back up and flow after this. So making sure the legs are nice and warm. We use this glute muscle that we're stretching out right now in pigeon pose. We use it a lot in any kind of balancing pose, in all the warrior poses. So really strong leg muscle. With every exhale, get a little bit deeper. Release a little more tension. And stay connected with the body. All right, we're going to push the hands into the mat to lift the chest. Roll onto your right hip. We're going to reach the left foot all the way around for fire log pose, pigeon pose. So left heel stacks on right knee. Left knee stacks over right ankle. You might want to push the fist into the mat or your hands to lift the hips and then let them come back down to the mat evenly. And then your left knee might be pretty far off the right foot. That's okay. That's what we're working on, is closing that gap. So wherever you're at, inhale to find length in the spine. This might be your stretch for you today, is holding it right here. Or you can walk the hands forward in front of you on the mat. You should feel a stretch in both hips at the same time. Keep that core engaged. Relax the shoulders. Relax the face. All right, push those hands back towards the body. We have to unwiggle ourselves and get back to down dog. So you might have to just release the feet, roll over the knees, come back to down dog. So we can do the same thing other side. Taking any side stretches on your way there, listening to the body. Whatever you need to get back to down dog. And then inhale, left leg goes high to the sky. Exhale, left knee drops behind the left wrist. Let the right leg go long. Walk the hands towards the body to lift the chest. We inhale to find length. Breathe into that right hip flexor. And exhale, settle into pigeon pose, left side. Coming down to the hands or forearms. You can have a blanket or a block underneath you. If there's any knee pain, pigeon pose would not be recommended. I would recommend a supine figure 4, or you could take figure 4 seated as well. Relaxing down onto the mat. All right, we're going to gently roll over or push the hands back into the mat to lift the chest and then roll over onto the left hip. Swing that right foot all the way around. Fire log pose, other side. So right ankle, left knee, and then right knee stacks over left ankle. trying to reduce that space right there. Maybe pressing the hands into the mat to readjust the sit bones so you're nice and even. Inhale to a straight spine. And then if this is your pose today, settle in. Otherwise, you can lean forward, walking the hands on the mat. Feel both hips at the same time. This is called fire log pose or full expression of pigeon pose. Leaning as far over those two shins with the chest as is comfortable for you. Just listening to the body wherever it's at today. Alrighty, push those hands back up. Same thing, we have to get back to down dog, however you need to get there. Release the ankles off the knees, roll over the knees, moving through tabletop to down dog. Take any little side stretches you need. We're gonna meet in our nice, sturdy down dog position, getting ready for some standing sequence. So stable through the hands, roll the shoulders in, belly button pulls up and in, gaze back towards that navel. Heels reaching energy towards the mat. Let's move our left foot in about an inch towards the center of the mat, and then inhale, right leg goes high to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, plant the foot between the hands, come up high lunge, deep bend in the front knee, left knee pulling up into the quad. You're on the ball of the back foot. Really strong high lunge legs. Pull this right hip back into the socket. Exhale, easy twist. Left hand's gonna come to the inside of the right foot. Right hand goes high to the sky. Keep that back leg straight and that front knee bent. Gaze follows the right fingertips up to the ceiling. Now we're gonna move into side plank. So the first thing we need to check is that our left wrist is in good position to hold us up. Should be right under the left shoulder. Swing the right foot on top of the left foot. Modification, drop the bottom knee or lift the top leg. Keep that right hand where it is, reaching up to the sky. Building strength in that side body. Keep holding side plank. Maybe you lift and lower the hips for 5, 4. Use the core, lift and lower, 3, 2, 1. And then we have to swing that right foot back to the front of your mat to get back to easy twist. So once you're back in that position, we're gonna cartwheel the hands open to warrior 2. So drop the back foot. Left hand goes all the way to the back of the room. Right hand goes to the front of the room. Warrior 2 legs. I'm gonna turn to face the camera. So let's find heel to heel alignment here. If there were lines on your mat, your heels would be in the same line. Gaze over the left finger or the right middle finger. Right knee tracks out to the right. Make sure you can see your big toe. Back toes out at an angle. Lower into warrior 2, release the shoulders down the back, strong legs. Inhale, reverse warrior, left hand down the leg, right hand up to the sky. And actually, I like to wrap my left hand around my low back in this pose. Either one. Keep reaching up with the right hand, breathe into the rib cage. And then exhale, extended side angle, right elbow, right kneecap, left hand reaches up and over. Your one long line from the left heel to the left fingertips. Keep those strong warrior 2 legs. And then we're gonna inhale, use the core. So your core is gonna take you all the way back to reverse warrior one more time. Same pose we just came from. And then this time when you exhale, half moon. So a balancing pose. Gotta readjust my feet here a little bit. So your right hand's gonna come down and land in front of the right foot. Left foot goes towards the back of the room. Left hand goes towards the ceiling. Open your chest towards the side wall. If you have a block or a prop under that right hand would be perfect right now to keep the chest lifted. And if you want a quad stretch, you can grab your left foot, left hand, kick into the foot. Otherwise, you're balancing, breathing, use your drishti, your focal point with the eyes, find something not moving, and focus. Keep kicking into the hand if you have that quad stretch. Nice job. Bend the right knee. We're going to release all the way to a wide-legged forward fold. So let your left foot land really far back on the mat. Turn your big toes in to, what's that called again? Pigeon toe. Big toes in closer than the heels. Inhale to find length in the spine. And exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Let the top of the head come towards the mat. You can walk your hands underneath you, gripping onto the floor, using that grip to get into the stretch a little deeper. Wide-legged forward fold. Belly button pulls up and in. And then from here, one thing that's fun to do in wide-legged forward fold is move the weight into the balls of the feet. So you're kind of playing with a balancing pose now, trying to lift the heels just a little teeny bit off the mat. And then you might want to have a micro bend in the knees as well. When we do yoga so consistently, this has happened to me at least, I've hyperextended from the back of my knees. So I always keep a micro bend, especially in this pose. All right, we're gonna walk our hands back to the front of the mat, framing the right foot. Plant your hands, take it through Vinyasa or meet me in down dog. Option to skip the Vinyasa completely. Taking a rest in down dog or child's pose, setting up for the other side. So in between flows, this is nice time, open mouth, inhale, or open, sorry. Inhale through the nose, open mouth, exhale. All right, inhale, left leg goes high to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, plant the foot, sweep the hands forward, high lunge. Deep bend in that front knee, right knee pulls up and into the quad. Settle the arms away out of the ears. And then exhale, easy twist. Right hand goes to the inside of the left foot. Left hand goes high to the sky. So you have a spinal twist here. You have a deep bend in that left knee. And then from here, make sure that right shoulder is stacked over right wrist and side plank. Left foot stacks on top of the right foot. Take your modification, dropping the bottom leg or lifting the right leg. Really strong in that core. And then for 5, lift and lower the hips. High to the sky and then down to the mat. Just a few inches, but feel the obliques engage. Nice job. And then we're gonna take that left foot back to the front of the mat. Walk it all the way forward as much as you can. Back in that easy twist. And then we cartwheel to warrior 2. So plant the back foot. Cartwheel the right hand all the way to the back of the room. Left hand goes forward. We meet in warrior 2. Feel your hips pulling apart. Really working those legs so your left knee tracks out to the left. Make sure you can see that big toe. Heel to heel, heel to heel alignment, back toes out at an angle. Relax the shoulders down out of the ears. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand high to the sky. Right hand down the leg or wraps around the low back. Breathe into that left side body. Don't lose the warrior 2 legs. Exhale, extended side angle, left elbow, left kneecap. The right hand reaches up and over towards the corner of the room. Roll that right armpit in a little bit, so like towards your face a little bit. One long line from the heel to the right fingertips. All right, use the core to lift you. Don't use the legs. One more reverse warrior. Left hand high to the sky. And then our last standing pose, half moon. Left hand plants on the floor in front of the left toes. Right hand high to the sky. Right foot lifts and reaches towards the back of the room. If you have that block or prop under the left hand, that's perfect. Helps keep the chest lifted. Left toes facing forward. Right heel shooting towards the back of the room. Maybe you take that quad stretch. That would be more advanced. It's not necessary. But if you do, kick into that foot or kick into that hand as hard as you can. Open the quad and the shoulder. Everyone's grounding through that left foot. And then slowly we lower that right foot really far back down the mat, coming into our second wide-legged forward fold. Pigeon those toes in to face each other. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Let the head come to the mat. Pull your belly button up and in to hollow out the belly. You can grab the outsides of the legs, the calf area or the foot, and use the grip of your arms to get into the stretch a little deeper. All right, very slowly release out a wide-legged forward fold. Walk those hands back to the front of the mat, framing the left foot. When your hands are nice and stable, shoot the left foot back to meet the right. Exhale, chaturanga. Make it through your vinyasa and meet me in down dog. All right, we're just going to lower the knees, sit on the shins a little bit. We're gonna make our way down to the mat pretty soon, or onto our backs. I want to do one last stretch for our backs, rabbit pose. So we're gonna take our forehead to the mat in front of the knees, cup the heels as hard as you can. You're gonna straighten into the arms once you have that heel grip. And an inhale lifts your hips to the sky for rabbit pose, arching your spine up towards the ceiling. Try not to look side to side when you're in it. Keep lifting the hips. Really nice counter stretch to all the back bends today. Breathe into rabbit pose. And then slowly release the hips down to the mat. And we're gonna come into frog pose, the ultimate hip opener. So rearrange yourself on your mat, long ways. You're gonna press the insides of your shins into the mat. You're gonna keep your chest lifting by pressing the palms into the mat, so that takes a lot of the weight off of the knees at first. Try to bring your knees wide, as wide as you can. Pressing the insides of the shins into the mat, probably the insides of the feet. Most people will keep their feet kind of out to the side. Some people find it more comfortable to bring their toes to touch. Find your frog pose. The best pose by either keeping the chest lifted or lowering down to the forearms. And then you can also bring the hips forward and backwards until you find that spot that you want to breathe into for 5 to 10 breaths. Maybe find another spot in frog pose, different angle of the same stretch. And then take time to breathe into that. All right, we're gonna lift the chest back up by bringing the hands underneath us, very slowly, gently wiggle those knees back together. And we're gonna make our way onto our backs, going as slow as you can. Those hips are gonna release. So just feel the sensation. And then make your way onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest when you get there. Wrap the hands around the shins. Maybe rock side to side. Make sure you're nice and long through the spine, so even the back of your head, back of your neck, reaching for the mat. All right, from here, we're gonna take shoulder stand or plow pose, getting a little reverse blood flow. So you're gonna press the hands into the mat, heels go up towards the ceiling. You're gonna have to create some momentum to lift the hips up off the mat, capturing your low back with your two hands for shoulder stand, keeping those feet reaching towards the ceiling, trying to get the hips to stack over the shoulders. If you get shoulder stand, 5 to 10 breaths here. Or plow pose, you would try to drop the feet overhead towards the mat. Really big low back stretch. And if you don't like that today, not in your practice, you can just maybe move to the wall and kick your feet up the wall to get that reverse blood flow, or even take a block or a prop or a blanket under the hips so that they're elevated off the mat, shooting the hips towards the ceiling. If you're in plow pose, try to keep the legs straight, so pulling the knees into the quads. And if you're feeling super bendy today in plow pose, you could go for deaf man's pose, trying to bring the knees to your ears, blocking off the sound. Pretty intensive. Your back has to be really warmed up for that. And then wherever you're at, very slowly rolling down, back down your mat, one vertebrae at a time. And at this time, I invite you to take any last poses that are calling your name today, any last stretches you need to get in. Maybe a supine twist, maybe rock the knees side to side. Any last stretches preparing you for Shavasana. I will give you a little bit of time right here to do those. Listen to the body. And then when you feel ready, make your way into Shavasana the same way we started class. Let your legs go long down the mat. Let the toes roll out to the side. Wiggle the shoulder blades up the mat a little bit so you have as much length in the spine as you can. And then tuck the chin down towards the chest. Palms can be down by the side, palms face up, or left hand on heart, right hand on belly. I invite you to your Shavasana with no non-attachment to any thoughts. Just relaxing onto your mat because you owe it to yourself for the next few minutes. And welcome to Shavasana. Softly invite movement back into the body by wiggling the fingers and toes. Rock the head side to side. And then when you're ready, raise those hands overhead like it's the first stretch of the day. And then roll over onto your favorite side using arm as pillow. Left side for energizing, right side for grounding. And in this space, I return to the very first sentence of the passage that I read, which says the key is to be in a state of permanent connectedness with your inner body, to feel it at all times. And I bring that up because I think yoga does a great job at connecting us to our bodies and our inner bodies, that gut and that heart space. Slowly push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. We'll meet facing the cameras. You can softly close the eyes, let the hands rest palm face up on the knees. And then we'll take one last inhale together. Reach those hands overhead. Feel the ball of energy forming between the palms before they touch. And then slowly exhale the thumbs down to the third eye center. Bring awareness to that glowing ball of light behind the two eyes. For here we're all connected. Thank you for joining me this Monday afternoon. Namaste.